Hi, I'm Dr. Ashley Holcomb. Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to the concept of coping. We're going to talk about the true purpose of coping, how to use coping to your advantage, and how coping is very different than avoidance. Let's dive into today's topic. The purpose of an emotion is to give us information about things that either we like or we don't like. It's to show us that something is wrong or is hurting us and to encourage us, to motivate us to do something about it. So we take the information we get from how we're feeling and we take information about the situation, about our value system, about what we believe is right and wrong. And we put that all together and come up with a solution to make that situation better. Your best option when you are emotional is to solve the problem if you can. Now, obviously, you can't always solve every problem that's making you emotional, and we can talk about that in another video. But we're going to make the assumption that for a lot of things that make you emotional, you have some kind of solution. However, sometimes those emotions can be so intense, or there's so much else going on, and we're overwhelmed, and we can't really respond to them in a healthy way. Maybe we can't really hear what the emotion is trying to tell us, or we end up with blinders on, so we don't see everything that's really going on. We don't get a well rounded perspective of the problem. It makes it really hard to come up with a healthy solution. When I'm really mad, really sad, or really angry, what I really need is to calm down enough that I can solve it. Calming down doesn't mean I ignore that emotion. It doesn't mean my feelings aren't valid. It just means I need to take a minute and get myself into the spot where I can really look at the problem and come up with some good ideas to solve it. As an example, let's say my husband does something that makes me mad. If I'm really, really mad, I might end up saying something that I really regret and that I can't take back. But if I take the time to calm down a little bit first, and then I go and talk to him and express how I'm feeling, and I ask him to do something different, I can now do that in a respectful and productive way. So then, what is coping? Coping is using some kind of tool to help you bring that intense emotion down to a level that is more manageable. Going for a walk, talking to a friend, listening to music, all of these things can help increase your comfortable emotions, things like joy, peace, calm, and help decrease those uncomfortable emotions, being angry, being sad, being scared. However, coping does not replace problem solving. This is the big misconception that I'm talking about. Sometimes people cope with a problem and they think, well, I'm not mad anymore, so I don't really need to go talk to that person, right? I don't really need to go solve that problem. Or I'm not feeling scared anymore, so I don't really need to go tackle that difficult thing, right? But just because you feel better doesn't mean the problem has gone away. Let's use that same example of my husband making me mad. If he makes me mad and I don't tell him what it is that he did that maybe hurt my feelings or upset me or frustrated me, he's probably going to do it again because he doesn't know that it bothers me. And the next time he does it, I'm going to be even more mad because it's not the first time and he should have known. Well, how is he going to know if I don't tell him? Again, this is where coping can get taken to that place it's unhelpful, where it's avoidance or it's numbing, right? If I'm just trying to feel better, but I don't solve the problem, the same things are just going to make me upset over and over again. And here's the thing, is what ends up happening, let's say again in this hypothetical situation with my partner, with my husband. Let's say I never bring up things that make me a little bit mad. The reality is every relationship has conflict. Everything in life that is worth doing is difficult. So at some point, I'm going to need to kind of talk about emotional problems with my husband. And if I don't get any practice doing it, if every time something comes up, I go, I feel better. So let's just not talk about it. I'm going to start to get this internal feeling, this sense that we can't handle those kinds of conversations. I'm going to start to lose confidence in my ability to solve emotionally charged problems. And that's why I think in so many of our relationships and our conversations with each other, we either avoid problems or we blow up at each other. It's because we have no practice actually solving relational problems or emotional problems. We have to use coping just to get us to the point where we can solve the problem, not so it helps us avoid it entirely. So here's how you want to actually use that coping time. Take the break if you need it. Go do something that helps you feel joyful, helps you feel calm, helps you feel connected. Watch some comedy on YouTube, talk to a friend, go exercise, something that puts you in a better space. And then, before the end of the day, take some time, maybe in a journal. Sometimes I just talk things out when I'm in the shower. I know that sounds weird, but just when I'm by myself, talking out loud can help me sort through how I really feel about it and figure out what the real problem is. Talk to someone you really trust. Get to the bottom of what is the problem I'm actually upset about. Make a plan for how you want to address that, and then go do it. Don't put it off because it's awkward or uncomfortable. If a lot of people with anxiety will do this thing where they'll cope with the anxiety, but then they don't actually go deal with the thing that's making them anxious. And then they get really behind in school or at work or with something because they aren't really addressing it. Don't let yourself get into those kinds of holes. If you see a problem and you know it's there, go take care of the problem. Don't wait. As I said a little bit earlier, sometimes you can't solve the problem, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in another video. But with many problems, we can do some things to solve them, some things to make it a little bit better at least, or at least do things to keep them from getting worse. But we have to stay connected to that feeling, not ignoring it, avoiding it, or numbing ourselves, because otherwise we're not going to know what we can do to address it, right? Coping is not avoidance. Coping is just getting you into the place where you can think and feel in a healthy way to promote action and change in your life. Maybe you're watching this video today and you feel like I'm describing your life. You know how to click, yes, I'm still watching on Netflix. No shame. I love Netflix too, but you never really get up off the couch to go deal with a problem. Or maybe as I was talking about coping earlier, you went, I have no idea how to bring myself down when I'm that emotional. I've tried all the things you've listed. I've tried stuff and I don't know how to get myself into a calm place when I'm emotional. I feel like I'm always upset about something. I really want to encourage you to reach out to a therapist. Getting in contact with a therapist has never been easier. With telehealth, as complicated as our world is right now, you can talk to a therapist with a couple clicks of a button. So I want to encourage you, check out the resources in my profile on how to reach out to therapy resources in your area. Thanks for listening today. Don't forget to click below to subscribe and to check out some of my other videos. And in particular, if the emotion that can really get you stuck is anger, don't forget to check out my 2-part series on anger that's also included in this channel. Have a great day.